Welcome to the social media store. We are doing live trainings every single Thursday, 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. And I'm excited to kick things off. I am Robert Courtney, and today we will be hosting Vance, who's a representative of Chase Bank. He's going to be talking to us about the Coaching for Impact program. So I'm going to go ahead and hand the mic over to Vance. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. As Mr. Robert Courtney said, my name is Vance Kirkwood. I am a senior business consultant, vice president here at Chase Bank. And I am super excited to be here for a couple reasons. One, because Robert is a friend of mine, and I am always excited to be included in anything that he does. Anything he does, anything he puts his hands on is always successful. So I'm honored to be a part of this movement at the social media store. So thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And also, I love to help small businesses. That is a true passion of mine. It is something that I love to do. It is something that I do every single day. And I am proud of that because there are a lot of small businesses that need help. And I am one to show them the way through the resources that Chase brings. It's not me and who I am. It's the resources of the bank that I work for. And Chase is a very powerful bank, and we have a lot of resources to help small businesses. And I believe that one of the missing pieces is the small businesses don't know what's out there to help them. And that is where I kind of bridge the gap and say, hey, I know a small business, I know resources, let me connect the two. And that is a big role of mine, and I am proud to do that. So today, we're going to talk about the Coaching for Impact program, but even before that, I want to talk about some common misconceptions when it comes to small businesses. And the first thing that I want to mention is it's not all about where can I get capital, where's the capital. That is a big part. We all want capital as small businesses. That's, a hot topic. It always will be. It always has been. And I love talking about that. Trust me, we have some resources at Chase to discuss that, and it is a very great conversation to have with your banker. It's a very great conversation to have with the people surrounding your business. Amazing. I'm not mad at it. But there are some things that we should discuss before we jump right into capital. There are some foundational aspects that we should discuss before we just jump right into capital, even though capital is a great topic. So today, I want to touch on a couple of those foundational items that I know will help your small business. And the very first thing I want to talk about is, why are you even doing what you're doing? Why did you start your business? What was the motivation behind starting your business? And this is a quote from Damon John, and it says, "Once I found my why, I was good to go. Each time out, the moment I understood what I was doing and why I was doing it, it was the moment I was finally able to make something happen." So this is very important. Why are you here? Why did you start your business in the first place? And I want this to be a little bit interactive, so I kind of want to have a couple of people share. Think about your business. Think about why you have a business. Think about why you went into that industry. And before we do that, I'll share a little bit about my why. So I have a business. I am a basketball trainer. So I have my own facility in Pontiac, Michigan, and I train basketball players from 5 years old all the way to 18 years old. All aspects of basketball: dribbling, passing, shooting, and even just knowing the game and the basketball IQ. So that is my business. The reason I started this business was because of one person, and that was looking at my son and understanding his passion for basketball. It made me think, what can I do? How can I help him solve a problem? How can I help him go forward in what he is passionate about? So I didn't look at anybody else. I looked at him and said, what can I do to help you? And in starting a basketball facility, in helping just my son, it turned into now I can help all the kids in the area. Now I can help all the kids in the surrounding elementary schools. Now I can help all my nephews. Now I can help all my little cousins. Now I can help everyone at my church. Now it's opened up to so many people just because my why was based on a passion that I saw in my own son. So I want to have a couple of people volunteer and say, just think about your business and share your why. Share your why. Can I have a couple volunteers?
So my why was looking at the younger version of myself who wanted to enter into small business and not having a blueprint or a path on how to do so. And so that motivated me once I figured out some of the things that worked for me. I was motivated to help other individuals who I saw myself in for them to be.
That's beautiful. So, and to be honest, that is where a lot of businesses start. It starts because when I was growing up or I had an experience and I realized that I didn't have something or I didn't have someone to help in a certain situation. So as I'm maneuvering through this and figuring things out, I can look back and say, now I know what they may need. I want to be that. I don't want them to go through what I went through trying to navigate on my own. So I'm going to create a space where they don't have to do that. And now my business is created. Now I'm not just thinking about, young Robert. I'm thinking about all the hundreds and thousands of Roberts out there that could use your business and your service. So I think that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? I saw your hand up. Sure.
To real estate, so it's about educating the community how simple it is to own your home, and then also the power of real estate investing and building wealth through that. I think enough people don't know how to do it or don't have enough information, so building that knowledge in the community is what my one is.
That's beautiful. I can tell you now, one of the best moments and best days, one of the best days of my life was when I bought my home. But that wouldn't have happened if I didn't have people like you teaching me and showing me what to do. From the thought of, hey, I want to own a home, to me signing the paper, there was a lot that went into that. And it wouldn't have happened if I didn't have people like you who thought about these things. How can I educate people in this industry to help them reach a lifelong goal, to help them reach a milestone that means so much to them that nobody can take away? So thank you for sharing. Do I have just one more? Yes.
But when I was looking for a home, I had a realtor who didn't really give me any education about the house. I felt very unsure whether it was a good purchase or not when I was touring one of the homes. And to this day, I regret not buying that house. But I didn't buy it because she didn't give me the permission to buy it, and she felt a little unsure herself. And so I kind of switched out of the mortgage industry into real estate, and I told myself, when working with first-time home buyers, I'm going to educate them and let them know if this is possible.
That's beautiful. So 3 different experiences. Yours is, I experienced somebody who did not give me a good experience, so I'm going to turn around and be that person to give everyone that I deal with the best possible experience. So I think that that's beautiful. Thank you guys for sharing. Okay, so we won't cover all of this, but we will at least get to the first part and second part. Think like an entrepreneur, and then establish a foundation for business growth. So a great business needs a great leader. With the right mindset, you can be that leader. So when I talk about this, I tell people the greatest asset of your business is what? What do we think? What's the greatest asset of your business? It doesn't matter what industry, doesn't matter what machinery you have, it doesn't matter what inventory you have. What is the greatest asset for your business?
For the business is the customer.
Customer? What do you think? What's the greatest asset for your business?
Yourself.
Say it again.
Yourself.
Say it louder.
Yourself.
Louder.
Yourself.
Yourself. The greatest asset. Now, customers, how do you make money without customers? You can't, right? How do you profit without people buying your product or using your service? You can't. But even before that, the biggest and greatest asset of your business is yourself. There is no one that put the blood, sweat, and tears into your business like you. There's no one that has the mission and vision behind your business like you. So in saying that, one of the most important things you can do is invest in yourself, in your own development. That is one of the greatest things that people miss when it comes to business. They start a business and they work for the business immediately. I'm working for the business. When in reality, it's very important not to miss working on the business. How do I improve the business? How do I improve myself? How do I develop myself so I can be a better business owner? How do I understand and educate myself and give myself the resources and go out and research what I need to do for the business? How do I invest in myself before I can really invest in the business? That's a very common missed piece when it comes to business entrepreneurship. So this is an example. There's a flywheel at the center of your business. And I love this example because imagine like just what you see here. Imagine a wheel, but there's a smaller wheel in the middle of the bigger wheel. So in order to move the big wheel, it takes a lot of work. It's a lot of work to move that big wheel. This is the groundwork. Imagine this as the groundwork for your business. It's a lot of work. It's a lot I can't even imagine what it took to even build this place. It's a lot of work. However, when you use that work and use that energy at the beginning of the business, now you've gained momentum. So moving forward, it's not as much work to get that wheel turning because it's already moving. It's a lot less energy you're using to keep the wheel going as opposed to starting the wheel. So people get discouraged when it's like, man, I got to do this and I got to do that and I got to pay for this and I got to do all that. Yes, that's part of establishing the foundation of the business, but you have to have that forward-thinking mindset that says, this is a lot of work, but at some point, the momentum is going to catch up and it's going to be a lot less energy for me, a lot less work for me to keep this business maintained differently than how much work it was to start it. Does that make sense to everybody? At first, it's heavy and slow, but with every turn, it spins faster. That's momentum. It's up to you as the leader to give your business the pushes that it needs. This is something that I talk a lot about to business owners. They don't want to do the business plan. It's a lot of work. They don't want to, some people don't feel that that's valuable, but what they don't understand is each time you do something small for the business, that's that push. That's that little push that we need. And it may not feel as necessary now, but everything you do for the business at first is that little push that makes it a lot easier and makes it spin faster as time goes on. So no single action results in success. Can I have some volunteers to tell me, what do you think about, what does it mean when you read this? No single action results in success. How does that make you feel? Does that make you feel encouraged? Does that make you feel discouraged? You know, encouraged because, okay, no single action results in success. That means, okay, but this one action is putting me towards success. Or is it discouraging, like, man, I did something and I still don't have success? What does that make you feel? How do you guys feel when you read no single action results in success? Let me have one or two volunteers, if you don't mind.
Sir. I would say for me, it's a little bit discouraging from the standpoint of if you allocate all your energy into one particular area, whether it's prospecting, whether it's business generation, you hope that it will manifest in results. However, the reality of it is it's not going to be that way, right? I may go and prospect for 30 hours this week and may not lead to one next meeting or next follow-up. Or I may send out 100 emails this week and it may not result in any meetings. So, and from that ways, it can be a bit discouraging, if you don't get the immediate results.
Absolutely. And that is very true. It can be very discouraging. So I had a conversation with some high school kids, was that yesterday, 2 days ago, and I asked them how they felt about this. And they said that, similar to you, sometimes it can be discouraging, but sometimes it can be encouraging. But they also said that if I do something for the business or if I do something in life, they would rather have immediate success than have to wait and say, you have to do 10 more things before you see success. And I get that. I totally understand that. But let's take a normal business, for example. When you see this social media store, for example, the social media store did not just fall from the sky with all this beautiful furniture and this beautiful screen and this beautiful facility in this beautiful neighborhood. It didn't just fall from the sky. There was work that was done from the initial thought that, wow, maybe a social media store can be cool, to where we are now, to the point of it goes all the way back to I had to even think of a name. I had to think of where it's going to be. I had to think of what is the mission behind it. That's a lot of work, but those are single actions that now have transformed into what we see now. But those early actions, without those early actions, we may not see the manifestation or the fruit that we see now. So it's really a matter of understanding and putting it in perspective to say, okay, I did 30 calls, but that one call back out of 30, maybe those 30 calls were worth it, you know? So it's a matter of understanding that each little movement, each little push is building the foundation of the success of your business. I'm going to skip that one. Do you believe you can grow as a person? A fixed mindset holds people back. A growth mindset makes more possible. So when I look at this, it's like, okay, what is a fixed mindset and why does it hold people back? What is a growth mindset and how does a growth mindset make more possible? Can I have a couple volunteers to say what they think a fixed mindset holds people back? What does that mean to them? What is an example of a fixed mindset? And why does that hold people back? What does that even mean? What are your thoughts on that?
So someone that thinks that they have it all figured out and that what they're doing is enough. Like, I think people that are complacent and just like, okay, well, this is it. This is my life. And they're not interested anymore.
Absolutely. So I'm 35 years old. Let's say 25 years ago, I can remember where there were stores that only accepted cash. If that is today, you just lost a customer from me personally. Like my wife, I have her carry cash for emergencies, but I just don't do it. So if there's a business that only carries cash in 2026, could that be detrimental to their business? It very well could be. Does it mean that they won't have a business? Maybe not. But are they reaching their full potential in our humble opinions of this business? Are they reaching their full potential by only accepting cash? So if they're not and say, well, I started off just accepting cash, I'm going to continue on. Okay, that's great. But that could be an example of a fixed mindset because it's not only holding people back, because now they can't even engage properly in your business, in your service, in your product, but it's holding your own business back because now you can't make the sale, you can't make the profit because of a fixed mindset that you didn't want to change and kind of evolve with. Sir. Absolutely. That is literally the ultimate example, honestly. Blockbuster having a fixed mindset. Growth mindset. Any thoughts on a growth mindset and what that could mean for you or your business?
Wanting to learn and grow and having the desire to be better and do better.
Absolutely. So, yes, sir.
Being open to different ideas.
Absolutely. So I'm talking to a bakery, right? And they have delectable desserts. I mean, cakes, cupcakes, cookies, brownies. I'm not kidding. Delectable. So I'm talking to them, and they say, Vance, my profit is not moving forward. And I said, why? What's going on? And she said, her thought is a lot of people are going vegan. A lot of people may want plant-based. A lot of people may want gluten-free. And that wasn't a part of her menu. None of that was. So I said, okay, let's think about, is it possible to move into those markets? And she said, well, I've never done that, but you know, maybe I can. Maybe I can advance my business and advance what I can do as a baker and step into this new realm of plant-based or gluten-free or vegan so that I can reach more people than just the people that I had before. That's a growth mindset. That's a growth mindset. That says, I know what made my business successful, but times change, don't they? Times change. So what am I doing for my business to move along with the change that we see in society? It's not, well, take it or leave it. These are my recipes. If you don't want it, don't eat it. Okay. That's fine if you have that mindset, but just understand that that may be more of a fixed mindset, and that may hold you back. I'm going to skip to, I know we're running out of time, so I'll skip to a couple more pieces. Know your purpose. Why does your business do what it does? What problem is your business solving? Is your business solving a problem? What problem is your business solving? That's a line that I have with a lot of my business customers. It says, that's how you understand the purpose of your business. There is a problem. There is a need to solve this problem. How can I step in with my business and solve this problem? With me, it was, I'm kind of tired of seeing bad basketball. You know, kids that don't know what a travel is, that don't know what a double dribble is, that shoot with both hands, or that run like it's a football. That was a problem that I saw. And I decided to start a business that fixes that problem. Like, what am I going to train every kid in the city? Absolutely not. But I can train who I can reach, and maybe that can build a better brand of basketball. Maybe that can, start a trend, for kids to learn basketball fundamentals earlier. But that is an issue or a problem that I decided to solve with my business. So just think about that. I'm not going to ask and go around, but why does your business do what it does? I didn't do the worksheet, but I just want you to ponder on that. Why does your business do what it does? Mission, purpose, and vision statements. Define your mission. How does your business do what it does? Okay, I want to teach better basketball. How am I going to do that? Am I just going to say, hey, all kids come in? No, I have a structure. I have a sign-up process. I have a scheduling process. I have different things in place to say, this is the problem that I'm solving, and this is how I'm going to do it. So a lot of people, they have the great idea, but they lack in the area of their operations. How am I going to make this happen? What's the cadence? What's the target audience? What's the pricing structure? How is this going to look? If I'm a random person approaching my business, what are they going to be thinking? How do I market correctly? What social media platforms do I need to be on in order to reach the audience that I'm targeting? Is it some social media platforms is LinkedIn, some Instagram, but who is your target audience? Learn where they are, and that's where you go. And then if they move, your target audience moves, you move along with them. What big change do you want your business to spark? These are just thought-provoking questions when it comes to your business. Again, this is beyond, hey, where can I get capital? Or, hey, I need a loan. This is the groundwork that we're setting for businesses to put ourselves in position to be ready to have capital. These are the kind of questions that we need to ask. What big change do you want to see your business sparking? Tips for writing your purpose, mission, and vision statement. I do want to stop and ask, if you have a business, can you share one statement as far as what your mission is, if anyone wants to volunteer? What is your mission statement? Or what's your vision statement? Or what's your purpose? Say it one more time. Building wealth through real estate. Short, sweet, to the point. If I'm hearing that, I'm saying, first of all, I can build wealth. There's an option for me to build wealth. There's an option for me to build wealth through real estate. Okay, so I understand what real estate is. I understand what wealth is. Now I can reach wealth through real estate, because before I thought I just had to work for 60 years. Before I thought I had to invest in the stock market in order to get rich. At first I thought I needed to hit the lottery to get rich. But your mission statement tells me that there is a viable option outside of the random luck of the draw, or a random stock hit, or I even had the money to put in the stock, or I had to work until I can barely walk. You are giving me other options to say I can build wealth. And wealth to me, this is all from what you just said. Wealth to me means not just me, but my whole family, my kids, my kids' kids, my kids' kids' kids. And anybody that I'm connected with, that is what screams wealth to me. So by your mission statement, that's what I got. That's awesome. Anybody else?
My goal is to create a unique and tailored and memorable experience for each of my clients.
I love that. Think about what's in your home, the pictures that you look back on. Where did that come from? That came from a photographer being in the moment, capturing some of the best moments of your life. That's where that came from. And that starts to pull on the heartstrings when it comes to, okay, I'm not just a photographer. No, I capture the moments that you're going to look back on 20 years from now and be bawling your eyes out. I was in that moment. I captured that moment at the right spot, at the right time, in the perfect way. Now you have memories that you can share with your children and grandchildren because I was, there capturing that moment for you. That's beautiful, isn't it? I mean, I don't mean to get too deep with that, but that makes a difference. That really makes a difference. And it really, truly makes a difference. And this is kind of off my notes for a second, but it truly makes a difference when you say that, and when you say that when it comes to if I want to get lending or if I want to receive a grant of some sort. Because if I'm a lender or someone providing a grant, I want to hear the passion behind what you're doing. That's what I want to hear. That moves me as the person giving the loan. Now, there are obviously some other factors, some very important factors. Don't get me wrong, but that is also very important. For example, if I have a bakery that's being purchased, and I have one guy that he saw this building and it looked nice. He has nothing to do with baking, but he wants to purchase that because XYZ, because he can. As opposed to this person who started a bakery in her house. Her grandma gave her the best recipe, didn't share it with none of her siblings or cousins. Now she's the baker in the family. She has perfected this recipe. Grandma has gone on. Now everyone comes to her for desserts, and it's a big thing, and everyone's mad because she got the recipe and Granny didn't tell me. Not seriously, but they're just, hating on her, and now she creates these delectable desserts, and she's like, I want to recreate the smell that I had when I woke up in the morning on Thanksgiving, and I want to recreate that and give that smell and that vibe and that feeling and that aura and that atmosphere to the next person when they partake in my desserts. And they say all that, and that's the person that's trying to get this bakery. Which one is going to be like, which one hits a little bit more for the person that I want to give this building to? Not some guy that just wanted to buy it because it had a cool brick pattern. It's the person that has passion. It's the person that has motivation. It's the person that is going to go to the ends of the world to make sure that her clients are taken care of and that she's going to produce the best product possible. It matters. It matters. So thank you for sharing, and thank you for sharing. Anyone else want to go? I'm not going to make it deep, I promise. Okay, no problem. Okay, what about profit? The feel goods and the warm goosebumps is great. That's not the end, but it's not the beginning. Profit matters a lot. We've talked about a lot of big ideas. Where does profit fit in? Your vision isn't possible without profit. If there is not a way to make money, then you may not have a good business plan. There has to be not a potential way to maybe make money, but there has to be a way where if this happens, if this business is created, then money will follow because of this. So, I mean, if back to my example, if I'm training young kids to be better at basketball, that's a passion of mine, but that's also my time. That's also my knowledge of the game. That's also me driving to the facility. That's also me taking away Saturday mornings from my kids when we could be at home watching movies, when we could be at home making breakfast. So, of course, the passion is there, and I want to help young kids, but it comes as a cost to who I'm helping, and that is how we gain our profit. Profitability fuels growth. Profit can help you focus on what matters. Profit can help you focus on what matters. We'll do a couple more. We'll push through. We won't get into this yet, but we will at some point. This is not the last time I'll be up here speaking at the social media store. So we'll get into these things, but I do want to get to one specific slide.
I'm sorry. I just know specifically there's a few people that want to know about LLCs.
Oh,
So can we just talk about, just really quickly, the importance, how establishing an LLC for someone who doesn't have one established can be beneficial for their journey or process?
Yes. So your business is not official unless it's official. Like, you can't just say I start baking cakes and say I have a business. Yes, you technically may, or I guess not technically, but you are the state of Michigan does not recognize you as a business until you are registered. Now, there are some ways where you can have a registered business that is also a sole prop. So you can run as a sole prop and not an LLC, but we'll get into that as well. But LLC has many benefits. These are just a couple. LLC owners can fully participate in the business. Owners protected from liability. That is probably one of the most important aspects of an LLC. That means that, and this won't happen, hopefully, but let's say the business is sued, for example. That means that they can only go after the assets of the business. They cannot go after the assets of you as the business owner because what happened was through the business. That's what that means. Very important. No limits on shareholders, and then earnings passed on to owners. Now, what people get discouraged from when it comes to LLCs is the process to get an LLC. That's the discouragement, man. How do I create an LLC? It just seems so much work, or it seems like it's so technical and I'm not sure where to go or where to start. I'm here to tell you right now that it's very simple to create an LLC. All you need is the business name and you need your personal information. And you need, there is a small cost, and it varies, but there's a small cost as well. You also need an EIN number, which is an employer identification number, which is like your social security number for your business. It identifies you as the business. Just like my social security number identifies me as an individual, your EIN number, it identifies your business as the business. Very, very simple. Any other specific things besides that?
One other question, just in terms of if I'm an individual who's, say, filing taxes as an individual, from your experience, is it recommended to switch over to an LLC because there may be better tax benefits that comes with filing as a business versus filing for yourself? Like, for example, they're both real estate agents. Mm-hmm. and they said they're saying to themselves, I'm generating a lot of money, but it's also I'm paying a lot of taxes.
Right.
Is there opportunities to say create an LLC for the business where you can then file through the business versus filing as yourself?
Okay, so the thing about that is, as for my position, I am not allowed to speak tax benefits, unfortunately. It is a topic that I'm well adversed on, but I'm not able to speak on the Chase platform about that. But what I can say, and this is what I am actually allowed to say, is that if there are questions that you have as far as which way I should go, how do I get the most tax benefits, or decrease what I pay, or increase what it looks like on paper, whatever questions you have, I have several people that can answer those for you. I'm just not allowed to, because I have, as a business owner, I'm not Chase for 2 seconds. As a business owner, I had these same questions. So I had to learn, how do I benefit from this business? How do I not pay as many taxes? Or how do I make it easier for myself? And how do I do X, Y, Z? I had the exact same questions. So that's where I learned it. But I had people helping me, like tax professionals helping me. And that leads me into what the program, the Coaching for Impact program, can benefit you for, is I have a huge network of any and everything that you may need for your business. And one of the hottest topics, especially in February, taxes. Taxes. Very, very hot topic. So great questions. I love to answer those. Just I can't answer on the Chase platform, but great questions. And I would go as far as to say that is one of the top priorities when getting into creating your LLC, is understanding the tax avenue prior to you getting an LLC. Because depending on what you want to do, you may have S Corp, C Corp, partnership, sole prop. Everyone's different. So whatever you feel like you would benefit from is what the route that you should go. And if you have specific questions about that, I have several people that can answer those questions.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, well, no, it was more so like, does the coaching program, because tax benefits is one thing, right? But
Yeah.
outside of the tax, for example, I have an LLC I've had for 3 years. They do property management as well. So I have a property management company, and then I do real estate. This year, I'm becoming a broker because I've been in real estate 3 years. And the advice I'm hearing is to open an S Corp, but this is like advice from like Instagram and TikTok algorithm, right? So like, I don't know what's real, but apparently I should open an S Corp and then have my real estate business now under that S Corp, and then have my other LLC under the S Corp. Is explaining the benefits and drawbacks of that part of the coaching that you offer, or is that also strictly tax advice?
So, very good question. It's a very thin line right there. And I approach that line often, just so you know. But to answer your question is to make it easier to have the same similar voice when it comes to the route I should go, and then when I get there, how do I actually structure it? To keep that same constant voice, I give that all to the tax professional. That's what I would do. But that is good information. If you have a parent company, then you have sub-companies feeding into the parent company, that would make sense. I'm not saying do it or not, but if that's what your structure is, then the S Corp would make sense for that. Yeah. I have to be very careful, just so you know, as you can probably tell. But that's a good question. That's a really good question. So let's talk a little bit about the program. So the Coaching for Impact program is a 190 to 120-day program where we talk about everything business related. That's access to capital, that's cash flow, that's operations, business development, creating a team of trusted advisors. That is what we do in the program. Now, it is a one meeting every 2 weeks where we meet for an hour on Zoom or in person, where we dig into what you have going on. And it's way more personal and intimate than if we were in a conference, because we talk real numbers. We talk real numbers to the point where if you say, hey, Vance, I want to make $100,000 a year in my business. Okay, great. Let's break it down. So you're telling me you want to make 100,000. To me, what I hear is not 100,000 a year. That tells me, what, 8,500 a month? I could be off on my math. That means you want to make $8,500 a month. That's what that tells me. Even further, you're open, what, 26 days out of the month? Okay, so it tells me that I need to make $8,300, $8,500 a month in 26 days that I'm open. All right, so that calculates to, if someone can help me, maybe 300 something, 350 bucks a day. I could be off. 350 bucks a day. Every day that I'm open, I need 350 bucks made. Okay, great. My product is $70. That means I need to sell how many products in one day to make 350 a day? Five products to make 350. Okay, you tell me you average every 2 people that come in buy from you. Every 2 people that come in, one of every 2 people that come in buy from you. So that tells me you don't need to make $100,000 a year. You need 10 people to come into the store every day that you're open. That's what you need. And let's say we can get 10 people, then we can start talking about what we can make in a year, which is your goal that you told me. So let's break it down even more. Let's say, hey, Vance, I can only get 8 people. Okay, well, we need to do one of 2 things. We need to change the price. If you tell me I cannot get 10 people, it's impossible. I can only get 8. Okay, we need to change the price, or we need to discuss a sales strategy and say, okay, well, instead of 1 every 2 people, I need 2 of every 3 people buying from me. So that means I need to recalibrate my social media and get more people in the store and get 12 people in the store. Or I need to say, who is my target audience? Because when those people come in, I need to be ready to talk to those people, because I can't, if my target audience is 25 to 35 and a 30-year-old comes in and it's the perfect customer, in my mind, I need this customer. So how do I increase my sales strategy? How do I make my sales strategy better when it comes to people who come into the door? So it's not $100,000 a month. That can sound really daunting. $250,000 or $100,000 a year can sound really daunting. $250,000 a year, really daunting. But when you break it up, it's like, okay, I only need 6 products sold a day. Or instead of 26 days I'm open, maybe I need to be open Saturday for 4 hours. So now I got 29 days. Now I have 30 days to sell the same amount of product because I sacrificed every other Saturday. It just makes it click a little bit better when you think about it like that, when you break it down like that. That is some of the conversations that we'll have in the program. And the very first thing, and this is the last thing I'll say because I know we're running out of time. The last thing I'll say is it doesn't matter what industry you're in. If you are enrolled in the program, we will always do a SWOT analysis. Who has heard of a SWOT analysis? Okay, good. It's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths. Okay, let me hear your strengths. When you tell me your strengths, what people do, and this is all from experience. This is nothing that I'm making up. I have a lot of experience in this role, talking to several different businesses, many different industries over the course of several years. What they miss is they have a strength and they stop feeding that strength. They stop acknowledging that strength, and then eventually that strength is not as strong. So the goal is to, let me hear your strengths, but make that stay a strength. At one point, your price was a strength, right? but economy did its thing and inflation did its thing. Now you're saying, okay, well, I'm still holding on to this price. What was once a strength is now what? A weakness. So yes, it could be a strength at one point, but how do we continue that and make it continue to be a strength? Weaknesses. Okay, these are your weaknesses, and this is where you can be very vulnerable. Tell me what you're struggling with, because that kind of dictates the path that we're going to take in this program. So you have a weakness, that's great, because what we're going to do is try to make that weakness a strength, if we can. Now, sometimes we just simply cannot do it, and we got to chalk it up. We got to take the L. For example, there is a bakery that I was telling you about earlier. They have a very small parking lot, like tiny, like 2 spots. Okay, can we tear down the building next door and build a 30-spot parking lot? No, we can't do that. So how do we make this weakness as less of a weakness as we can? Okay, so we talked. Let's get on Grubhub and DoorDash and Uber Eats and turn and burn these customers so they're not taking up the 3 spots that we have. Let's get an extra employee so the turnaround time is cut in half. So people want to come in here and they don't have a spot to park and they keep going and we lost a customer. How do we turn and burn these folks to make sure we get as much profit as we can? We can't change the parking lot, but we can make it more of a strength / less of a weakness. All right, opportunities. Okay, you got Wayne County covered. And this is whatever industry. This is not industry specific. You got Wayne County covered and you're doing a good job of Corktown is covered. Okay, maybe there's an opportunity for the east side or the west side or downtown or Oakland County or Macomb County, Livingston County. Okay, maybe you got the 20 to 35-year-olds. That's great. But is there an opportunity for 40 and up? How do we get them in here? How do we include the kids in whatever industry you have? How do we include the senior citizens? What's our target? How can we increase what our target is? For me, I'm training kids, right? Who is my target audience? I'm not targeting the kid, even though that's the only one I'm working with. I'm on the court with the kid. He's not at all my target audience, though. Crazy, right? Why? Because who's going to drop this kid off? Who's going to pick this kid up? Who's going to pay for it? Who's going to go online and schedule the training session? Not the kid. The kid has no idea about any of that. So my target audience is not simply going to elementary schools and talking to kids. Hey, I can train basketball. That's not it. It's going to the coaches, going to the parents, going to the grandmas, going to the aunties and uncles. So that is my target audience, even though I'm not training grandma. That's a crazy thought, isn't it? I'm not training her, but if I had an ideal client, it would be her. Because guess what? She got 11 grandkids, and I can train them all, boy or girl. I don't care what age. Bring them all. And that's where my profit comes in. What was next? Opportunities, threats. Okay, let's go back to the vegan thing. Man, people are just, it's early in the year. People are serious about their health, man. They're trying to live longer and live healthier and have less pain and, feel better and, drink more water and eat less sugar and eat less, I respect that. As a business owner, even though that's a threat to me, I respect that. So if that is a threat, how do we overcome it? How do we overcome that threat? And any industry, you can tell me a threat. Okay, rates are up. That's a threat. Value is going down on the house. I don't know if this is all true, by the way. Value may be going down on the house. That's a threat. People want to come out to social media store, but it's negative 20 degrees. That's a threat. Anything can be a threat. The issue is not the threat, though, because there's going to be, as soon as the housing market evens out, what's going to happen the next year? It's going to do the same thing. So it's not the threat. It's how do I overcome the threat? What am I putting in place to say, okay, I know this threat is coming, but how do I overcome it? That's more important than the actual threat. Okay, people are eating healthier. as a bakery owner, I want to eat healthier too. I'm probably not even eating what I'm baking. So why am I mad at you for eating better? Okay, I got a vegan option. I got a plant-based option. Still delectable, trust me. Your mouth is going to water, but it's a healthier option, okay? So we always do that. And how I frame it is I take all the notes. I just want you to talk until you can't talk anymore. I take all those notes, and that is the framework for our 90 days. That's the framework for our 120 days. And if you have weaknesses as, okay, I don't have capital. Okay, let's talk about that. Because what I've heard is maybe it's not a capital issue. Maybe it's a cash flow issue. Maybe you're combined in personal and business, and you're not sure where this money is going. Maybe you have to capture all your information, maybe you have an issue there. Maybe you have what's the word I'm looking for? Software issue. And things are not clicking, and you're not sure of where money is going and how it's all coming in and going out. Maybe it's just an organization issue. And you'll realize that, oh, it's $100 more a month that I didn't even realize. You know, maybe you're overpaying for something. Maybe your merchant is charging you 3% when Chase may have a 1%. You know, every little bit counts. If I'm charging $3 for a water bottle and I'm selling 10,000 a month, 10,000 a month, if I lower my price by 3 cents, how much money do you think that is? A lot. But it's only 3 cents, right? That's not a lot. But times it by how many products I'm selling, that could be a lot. So maybe you don't need the $10,000 loan. Maybe you need to charge 3 cents more, and then you get the 10,000. It's not always that easy, but these are the conversations that we're having. Yes. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So let's go to the QR code. So this QR code is, whoa, it's a lot of, okay, so actually, let's do this one. If you want to join the program, you can reach out to me, no problem. If you want to scan and put your information in there, then I will get this information too. But if I'm here and you can say, hey, Vance, I want to join the program, I would rather that. But this is also for you as well. Now, the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to give it back to Robert Courtney, but the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put another QR code, and it is a survey. And it just tells you, was I really here? Did I really talk about anything good? And you guys will say, yes, of course, he was the best. That is what I'm going to put on after this. So that allows me to continue doing this. And I can show back office that, hey, we're really not just in here, catching vibes. We're actually learning. We're actually putting things in place, and we're really moving the needle when it comes to small businesses in this area, which is my ultimate goal, which is part of Robert Courtney's ultimate goal as well. All right, so I know we're out of time, but I'm going to, first of all, thank you guys for your time today. It was always an honor to be up here, and thank you for your participation as well. That really means a lot to me. So I'm going to throw it back to the owner and visionary, Robert Courtney.
Yeah, let's give him a big round of applause. I don't know if people understand how incredible it is to have that type of resource. You took advantage of the time, and I'm promising you it's going to be well worth it. Take the program. It's 90 days, and when you're done, the clarity that comes from it, the organization, the tips, the learning, you're going to be a better business, a better person, and it's a step toward the right direction in terms of what I'm sure everyone's trying to build. So I'm excited to have Vance a part of this journey for the social media store. This is the first training that we've hosted here, so that's really cool. We've been anticipating this day for so long because we want to play a pivotal role in giving the community very practical information about how to move forward. There's so many programs and so many people doing so many different things, and you walk out and you don't even know why you showed up. And I, for one, am burnt out over the massive amounts of program, and it's cool that the effort is being put forward to do a lot of things, but the reality is, if we're being super transparent, a lot of programs don't provide you with much, right? And I am determined to vet every single person that comes into this room, that stands on this stage, to make sure that they are bringing viable and valuable information. Vance has been with us for 2 years. He's participated in the last 2 Creator Cons. I've watched a handful of people go through the program, graduate after the program. One of my best friends, his name is Mo Franklin. He's literally been with me since high school. Maurice has supported and pushed everything that we've ever done, from Unique Collection to RCA to CreatorCon, social media store, but he wasn't a business owner. He was just the homie who became the supporter, who became interested in what he was seeing, who then decided, I'm gonna start my own transportation company. And he asked me for advice, and I would give him advice. As soon as I connected with Vance, I said, hey, I need you to do this. Like, it wasn't like, hey, check this out. I was like, make an appointment with Vance to figure out when the next program starts. He went through the program. I'm watching my guy, like my homie, like my main man, my brother. I'm watching his business grow. And I don't have nothing to do with it, right? Like, I do, like, I support it, but like, I'm not giving him insight or information, which leads me to believe and know that the information that he was shared from Vance's program has started the elevation of his business. And he's getting ready to apply for a couple loans, and he's gonna scale his fleet. He's went from 1 car, and now he has 3 vehicles, right? So this is practical. Like, this isn't like somebody I seen on a commercial or somebody that, you know, I know through social media. This is family and blood who's benefited from the program. And I want anybody that's connected to this and what we're trying to build to be able to capitalize on resources like that. So take advantage, talk to them before you leave if you're interested. And for the people watching this via our resource center, make sure you reach out. We'll provide the links right after this clip, or at the bottom, or somewhere on the screen, so that you can click it and you can get the information too. So thank you guys for showing up today. We do have another presentation tonight at 6 o'clock. So for future reference, every Thursday at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m., we will do these type of trainings, various subjects. Tonight, it is passion to profit. Thank you, Shadia. Lenasia is another amazing coach, business coach, and she's gonna provide an incredible presentation. She also has a book that she'll be bringing that'll be available. So if you have time to come back, please do. If not, we'll see you on the next time. So thank you for showing up, and have an incredible rest of your day. A lot of that is for camera purposes, so like.